Dr. Dan Tomlinson joins us live each Monday to answer your medical questions. And tonight, our first question has to do with the smoke in the air. It's been really hazy
Sure.
the last few days.
Right.
So, question is it smoky enough that we should start worrying about air quality?
All right, well, good question to be thinking about. And, you know, these high pressure systems that we get, as Kevin tells you about, does trap in the smoke, but in the summertime it's a lot deeper, so we'll go up to 10 to 12,000 feet. In the wintertime, really folks need to worry more on those foggy days where all the particulates are in only the bottom 1,000 feet. So it really isn't that bad right now. That smoke that we had last week was really from Siberia, I heard, and it was way up in the atmosphere. There wasn't any medical danger with that smoke. Now, if you have a fire this summer that's nearby, like the biscuit fire, those kind of things where you have bigger particles coming through, that's where masks will come in. I think we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But this smoke that we're having recently is really not a problem.
Well, and that kind of leads to the next question then. Face masks, are those necessary for everyone or for certain groups?
If you have asthma, if you're an older person, you have lung disease, if it's really bad, it doesn't hurt to do that. Now, you can use those face masks for other things. Let's say you're working in the yard or it's dusty, you know, some local environmental thing. You know, people will use that. I use those all the time when I cut my field, for instance. So a mask is a good idea, and it doesn't necessarily have to be because of smoke. It could be from any particulate that you don't want to get in your lungs.
Interesting that you bring up cutting the field, because it's summer and that means poison oak and poison ivy can be a problem around this time of year. What's the best way to treat those?
Okay. Poison oak is what we see here because it's much drier than the poison ivy that you see in the Midwest, but it's the same thing. There's oils that get on your skin, and you have about 12 to 24 hours once the oil gets on before you get a delayed hypersensitivity reaction to it. So you need to get the oils off, first of all, if you know you've been exposed, or as soon as you see an outbreak, with a chemical called Tecnu. And I'm going to say that again, Tecnu, T-E-C-N-U, because what will happen is you keep auto-inoculating yourself when you scratch areas, and then you move it around. So you'll have one outbreak one day, and then the next day it's somewhere else. And then hydrocortisone, any anti-inflammatory cream will work to calm down the symptoms. If it's all over here, then you need systemic steroids.
And it seems like with poison oak, at least, and poison ivy too, that some people are more susceptible to it.
Oh, totally.
But it doesn't affect others as much as it affects some people.
It's an allergic reaction, kind of like somebody will have hay fever and somebody else won't. It's just, instead of in hay fever in the nose and lungs, this is a skin antibody antigen reaction. If you're unlucky, you develop an immunity, and in this case, an immunity is bad. You know, other species, you know, deer and so forth, dogs are walking in poison oak, nothing happens to them.
Sure.
It's a human problem. Gotcha. And not every human gets it.
And it can be incredibly uncomfortable.
I know. Yes, I'm one of those unlucky people, and it is nasty.
All right, Dr. Dan, thanks for being here tonight. And Dr. Dan joins us each Monday to answer your medical questions. If you have a question, you may write or email him at the addresses on your screen. You may also post the question on our News 10 Facebook page. We'll be right back with more News 10 at 5.